MCC Scuffed is the most incredibly silly tournament we've ever seen, with it looking to be absolutely insane. But with such a crazy event, we've also seen some crazy teams. But the question still remains, who will win, who will lose, and who will shock the world? These are my predictions for MCC Scuffed. But before we begin, these are just my predictions and opinions, so if you have different ones to me, why not leave them in the comments section below, and they'll be featured in a future video. And whilst you're down there, make sure to like and subscribe as well. I would really appreciate it so much as I head towards 5,000 subscribers. It would truly mean the world to me. But anyway, enough messing around. Let's start with 10th place. The Orange Ocelots. Look, firstly I have to say the MCC Scuffed predictions are almost impossible, as we have no idea what games could be played or even how they could be played, as well as how the scores will count. Literally everything could be turned upside down, or it might be a huge prank. With that being said, despite Ranboo's insane performance in 29, I feel it's going to be tricky for the King to be able to push for the victory in this event as the strongest player on his team. He's joined by his white noise partner in crime, Sneeg, which is definitely a duo that needs to be in more MCCs. Along with that, Kara adds even more chaotic, brilliant energy, and In the Littlewood has so much experience, but whilst they're a very good team, they are just missing that hard-hitting power to take them to the top. With that being said, as always, I hope they prove me wrong and battle for the win. 9th place. The Blue Bats. After a good event last time out, Smallish Beans joins his Empire family to lead them to glory this event. Starting with Smager, who had a very similar event to Smallish in terms of individual, but unfortunately had the heartbreak of losing Dodgeball yet again. We also had the wonderful Whip and Gemini Tay returning to the event, which is glorious as they're both very good players that can definitely help this team. Again though, I'm not sure this team has enough power to truly push to the top. They will have superb chemistry and it's sure to be one to watch, but with Smallish's potential internet issues, they're going to have to be at their very best to be at the top. But whilst I say that, I am really so excited to see the Empires potentially shock everyone. Also, since it's scuffed, Scott should definitely get to cheat. That's what I want anyway. 8th place. The Like and Subscribe Llamas. A team built up from amazing and sometimes romantic duos now, as Sam and Ponk and Bad and Skeppy are together once again to form a sorta kinda dream SMP team, even if it doesn't really even count at this point. This team really complements each other with great parkour, PvP and teamworking skills, but I just feel it might be a push for them to do sensationally. They're a really strong group, but none of them have truly had their pop-off event yet, which they definitely have within them. Even so, I also think Skeppy could genuinely oversleep, so that's a bit of a worry, but overall I'm just not sure they can push it to the line. It really reminds me of Orange from the last event, who did extraordinary, so perhaps I might be wrong, but for now, they lie here for me. 7th place. The Yellow Yaks. This is a team full of players that are only growing more and more in the event, and I think that's why they're perfect together. With Philza recently being absolutely brilliant, getting top 10s again and again and again, with Sandwich Lord's training paying off and making him someone truly to be reckoned with. The same could be said with Amesy, who's been superb recently, especially in the last event where he killed it in To Get to the Other Side, Sands of Time and Sky Battle, really pushing higher and higher. Blushy also did amazing filling in for TapL in MCC 28 and of course winning MCC 27, and it's always one to look out for. And Mr Gaming somehow managed to come not last whilst online with Pete, which is a huge achievement, so I reckon they could shock a few people in this event. They're going to have great vibes, and really I just expect them to get better and better, even if this event might be just a step too far to get into the top 5. 6th place. The Pink Parrots. Lizzie returns to the event once again to take part in a non-canon tournament, bringing along with her a superb team, which also sees Green return after a few events out. They bring along with them a lot of experience on their side though, as Shovel brings it in spades, and Jojo was of course our best player and a shining star of MCC 29. This team is yet another which is going to be so much fun, especially in this crazy event, and I can't wait to see what they get up to, as they definitely have the skill to shock one or two people. I mean, it's not really a shock when you have one of the best players ever in your team, but you get my point. The only thing that's holding them back from being a little higher is I don't expect them to take this event too seriously, which is of course the best way to be in MCC. And I think that'll mean they'll have a good time, but perhaps not reach the top 5. But who knows, Jojo is one hell of a leader, and with this team behind her, they could definitely do well. 5th place. The Purple Pandas. 3 of our superb simmers joined back once again for this tournament, as they seek to prove they're truly the best players, which is exactly why they've hired the inexperienced hands of FireBreathMan to prove they could easily do it as a free. But for real, I expect after the last event, Shane's proven that he can take a great team to higher than anyone's expectations, and with Zeus, Vixella and Dr. Gulon all being capable players, I'm expecting to see it once again, especially as Zeus has been continuing to train and getting better and better, which really could see this team shine, especially if he's trained Vixella like he said he wanted to. Overall, just like Blue in the last event, I think this team's up and ready to cause a shock, and whilst I don't think they're going for a win, a truly great performance would be a victory in all our hearts. 4th place. The Green Geckos. Okay, I've seen a few people out there predict this team as favourites already, so let me say off the top, I think this team is very good still, despite predicting them 4th. Beckemon has been a sensational add to the event, Crinius always does well despite not much game time, and the Orion Sound always has the potential to do insane. Which leads us to Punz, who despite maybe not having the best event with his team last time around, still came an impressive 9th individually on the 9th best team. And with this being a weaker event, he could perhaps do even better. The simple reason this team is here for me is that I believe the teams above will practice a lot more and have better chemistry, unfortunately. But even so, I do think this team has a good chance at the win. 3rd place. The Aqua Axolotls. Sorry Antfrost, I know you're watching, but as you return to your rightful colour, I think you just might miss out this time around. Even so, the fact that Tubbo and Velvet joined him is a good sign, as they're 2 of his best and most frequent teammates, with this being the 3rd event in a row that Tubbo and Mr. Frost has teamed up, whilst also being very similar to their team in MCC 28, as Velvet joins the battle, and honestly, I believe Velvet has a lot of potential greatness we are yet to see, especially after his performance in Pride. Of course though, there are 2 S tiers on this team, with Connor also joining to destroy everyone in his path. I really do think that given the chance, this team will get him ready for the event, and given his love for MCC, I expect he'll take the opportunity to do his best. Unfortunately though, for me, the top 2 teams are just too strong. As we begin with 2nd place. The Cyan Coyotes. Pete and Callum joined for the 2nd time in a row, and this time they're joined by another new 4-time winner in False, which means altogether this team has a total of 12 wins, which is absolutely insane and feels like it might be some sort of record. Of course, this winning experience will come to help Pearl big time, as she tries to beat Ranboo to their first win, even if it's not a canon event. And honestly, this team is definitely capable. Pete is godly at the game, with Callum and False also being brilliant and great teammates to have. and Pearl is definitely one to watch out for after her amazing performance in Underdogs that definitely put her on the radar as a potential big hitter this season. Altogether, this team screams MCC, and you could say it's better than 29's Lime, who came third. So this team really should have Dodgeball in the bag. But even then, I don't think they'll beat first place, the Red Rabbits. Yes, that's right, the Red Rabbits are number one for me, as we see one of my favourite teams ever come together. Firstly, we have Sylvie, who's proven to be deadly in the event as one of our most improved players ever, with her being someone to absolutely be reckoned with whenever she's in the event. Both Hannah and TapL, or TapW in this case, are insane players that I could see reaching the top 5 this event together, both receiving a team that they can finally win with after a long time coming. And finally, G Nelly, who for me is one of the best teammates you can have, and has definitely shown it with getting into 2 finals in a row. She's just always so incredible at tactics and teamwork that she's honestly always one to look out for. Together, they create a team that could come out as worthy winners at the end of the event with so much skill and talent. But with this being scuffed, it might not even matter, so we'll have to wait and see. But with that being said, we've reached the end of this video, so there's only one thing left to say, which is to thank you so much for watching, and of course, as always, peace.